Lina, you asked about translation. Yes, today we will not make pauses, so you need to translate synchronously. I hope it will be okay for you and for Chinese team. So I think we need to wait additional 1 minute because some people are trying to connect now. So I think we will start after 1 minute. Please wait. So I think we can start. Please tell me someone. It's my voice is okay. Can you hear me? Can you see my screen?
We can see you.
Yes.
Yeah, great. So, and let me check Lina. Lina, can you write in our
Yes.
chat? It's okay for you. Can you hear our English version of slides and everything? So, Lina.
She answered to Chinese channel. Yes, she can hear.
Ah, great. Okay. Thank you very much. So, hello everyone. We're start our skill camp, and today is some official opening for our mobile application development skill camp. And for official opening and some words about our skill camp, I would ask our technical delegate of World Skills International and national competitions of World Skills Europe and Russia, an international director, deputy general director for Union Professionals, World Skills Russia, Toskanova Alina Vladimirovna. Alina.
Hello, everyone. Thank you that you join our skills camp. From World Skills Russia side, we would like to mention that the Future Skills Camp, it's not just a camp. For us, Future Skills is a holistic program. The program is about how to identify, foresight, and research new technologies and new skills which are coming to the market. Then we test and pilot the skills at the competition or at the future skills camps. And then what is the most important, we develop educational programs and trainings and implement these programs in the education system. So as all of us these days have managed with pandemic, we from World Skills Russia side have a lot of solution, how to manage with online solutions, and decide to run this Future Skills Camp online. Actually, because you have already experience to have Future Skills area at the World Skills Kazan 2019, we run Future Skills competition at our national competition, and also mobile application development will be official skills in Shanghai 2021, as well mobile application development part of World Skills Asia activities and BRICS Future Skills Challenge. So we truly believe that this session will be important and useful for you. As well, we truly believe that joint cooperation and joint development of the skills could give us much more benefits and result rather than when we are developing something by one country. So thank you for the experts that you find time, that you join this training. I wish you have productive session and meeting, and good luck with your national development of the skills, even in this challenging situation which we have nowadays. And I would like to thank Emil that he is leading this session. So go further, Emil, please.
Thank you very much, Alina. So someone of you heard me yesterday and maybe see me yesterday. So my name is Emil, as you know, and I with my team will introduce you to our new skill, mobile application development. And as you see in the slides, we can correct our name of skill like a MAD, like a MED, for fast spelling and writing. So you must know that all our presentation will be recorded and it's streamed to YouTube. You can see a link in our chat. So downloading files of our presentations and of course of video. And first of all, if you have questions, please write them in our Zoom chat for now, or for Telegram or Discord servers. And I have some information about our plan for today and for next days. It's a short plan. So as you see, today will be only introducing to our skill and technologies of our skill by our colleague Lydia. I will introduce her a little bit later. And I want to tell today your story of our skill.
Sorry.
Yeah, okay. And I will say many important information about skill. And for tomorrow and for 23rd of July, we prepared little test projects for competitors that they will make. And then with experts, we will discuss about WSS and assessment of our skill, because we need to get your experience in world skills and maybe in mobile application to make our WSS is better and actual for international competition. And so in Friday, we will make some summary of our meetings. It will be time for your feedback. You can tell your stories or give us your experience about our skill or some skill that may be same as mobile application development. And we want to plan a next events according to our skill. In our plans, we want to make some little and short tutorials about mobile application development. And I think you all will be interested in it. And so let me introduce our skill, some short information about it. Our skill is about creating mobile applications, like you see from a name. And so, what is mobile devices, mobile applications, and mobile devices? We have our smartphones, tablets, smartwatches, and it will be a little strange, but we also use TVs, smart TVs, of course. I will explain about it a little bit later. So everyone knows that mobile devices is important part of our lives because we do everything with mobile device. We are writing messages, we are watching videos with kitties, work and playing games, we're using it for. If we use a smartphone, it became part of a full ecosystem. For example, it's like I can copy text from my laptop and it passed it to my smartphone, or I can get the calls from my smartwatches, and I have applications that can be used every day by us. And applications are an integral part of our daily lives. The marketplace is crowded with all types of mobile apps. Today, even businesses who never would need apps in the past, they're getting now, they're trying to creating applications for them. For example, maybe you remember in the past we called taxi where we are calling or trying to get in a street like a hey taxi, and now we can just press a button like I want to go home, and some Uber or another taxis will came and you easily go to another place. And this technology is near with us. And as you see in a slide, I write that there are some types of applications that can be used by users, by us, yes, and of course be used by our skill. For example, lifestyle mobile apps. It's like fitness apps, music apps, of anything used to make our life interesting and easy. Social apps is a big part of our lives. Of course, TikTok and others is just some example of this type of apps. Also, you often use utility apps. Maybe someone remember that in the past you had downloaded flashlight application for turn on your flashlight apps. It can be very cool and interesting too. And for example, if you know, Apple starting in the previous year, Apple started a new service like Apple Arcade, where you can see wonderful games. And another one part is productivity apps. It's about the things that we use for work, like office applications or other. Of course, the financial apps as a part of our life. For example, I don't know which banks now in Russia don't have a mobile application. I think every bank in or big company in Russia have a mobile application, and it's okay for current world, for current century. So, and in our opinion, we need to popularize important direction of software development, not only mobile application development. It's applications for people with disabilities. Because of all mobile devices like smartphones, smartwatches can help people in different types, in different directions. For example, just imagine if you have 2 fitness bracelets in your left hand, in the right hand, we can use vibrations for showing right direction, like a navigator, yeah, like a turn right, turn left, and stop, and other things. And these technologies are very cheap, like a fitness bracelet, or everyone have a mobile phone. But we need software developers which can create such types of applications. And of course, we can help the world with creating these applications. Of course, we also can use our applications for entertainment, lifestyle, social, and etc. But we will also keep in mind that we need to help to people with disabilities. So now I would to say about history of our skill. For example, from 2016 year, I start to think about there are no skills in World Skills International about a mobile application development. I agree that the few skills in WSI use mobile platforms, like IT solutions for business, even web design technologies, they're creating web adaptive apps, yes, for mobile devices. And as I know, the graphic technologies also makes designs, user interfaces for mobile applications, for mobile platforms. But they don't use the power of all our mobile devices. And this and not only mobile devices that don't use the power of connection mobile devices with other platforms or services. And because I'm a software engineer, I try to use my experience of mobile development, and I'll start to prepare creating new skill for World Skills International. So, and from the beginning of our skill, we start using many technologies like using remote servers with API, and we're starting to create custom views for user interface and many other things that don't be used in another skills from World Skills International. We did it because we know that the development market from the inside, so we are engineers, we know how it's used, how we can create it, and etc. And you will see a little bit later that our teams consist of professionals who also develop mobile application apps, and of course not only mobile apps, also web applications and desktop applications too. And you must know that our skill has several differences from other skills, many skills from WSA. For example, we don't have any mono branding. For example, we can use Android development, we can use iOS development, we can use PCs or Mac computers. So we are free for use technologies and other brands. And in head of our skill, the team of professionals from industry. Yeah. And so here you can see some of our activities about our skill. Of course, it's not all activities, but the main activities that I will introduce you. As you see, we with our team, we start mobile application skill from a Russian competition named Digital Skills. We was in a Future Skills block. Maybe someone heard about it. The competition, Digital Skills, is a competition about only digital directions, like quantum technologies, Industry 4.0, and virtual reality and other, and of course mobile applications. But of course, I don't agree that the mobile applications was in the Future Skills block, because mobile applications was before, they are now, and they will be in the future. So this competition was in Russian new city named Innopolis. Maybe you know about it. It's like a little type of Silicon Valley in the USA. And after these competitions, we start to taking over with our skill. Many regions in Russia start to support us, and in 2018, our skill was a national competition in Russia, as you see. The next big step for us was a World Skills Kaizen 2019. Someone from this group now that was in this competition, and thank you for it. And it was a great experience for us because we create international competition. It's not easy, of course, but it was interesting and cool. And as I see, in November at 2019 in Foshan in China, China created additional one competition for BRICS countries for future skills, block skills. And for example, Brazil team joined to a med skill in BRICS competition. For example, you can see people from a KAZA 19. It was the first big event for our skill. And of course, we made some mistakes and maybe some was wrong, but it's just an experience and awesome experience for us and for me too. Thank you that guys that decide to go the new skill. They don't know about who will be it, but they came from Iran, Kazakhstan, and China. And for example, this photo from a competition from a Foshan city in China. They made a great competition, and you can see me and the people from Brazil that came to this skill. And now I want to show you some numbers about our skill. And I'm really proud of these numbers that I will show you now. For now, about 180 students and experts involved to a med family, as I can say that. So it's really big number, I think, because we started 2 or 3 years ago, and now we are adding more and more people because we are starting to train students for mobile application development in Russia. And in Russian education programs, we have also added mobile application development for students from colleges. In Russia, we have 18 regions that today involved to mobile application development. And I hope that in next year, this number increases 2 times minimum. For now, you are here, 15 countries registered to current skill camp, and it's very cool. Thank you for it. And as I know, there are fresh information from a registration list of World Skills Shanghai. Already 8 countries registered to our skill. So you all can increase this number. And I hope after current skill camp, this number will increase twice. Of course, there's no chance to create international competitions, skills, or other activities without a team of good professionals and friends. So I want to say a little about our skill, about our team. It's me, you can see from a web camera and from a photo. So I'm a software engineer. I'm working as software engineer past 11 years, as I remember. So I'm a CEO of IT company since 2014 year. And I also have my story about the world skills. My story with the world skills started from 2014 year, and I was like a competitor in a web design technologies skill. And then I connect to IT software for business solutions team, and we are creating some competitions in Russia, in other countries about IT software for business skill. And from, as I told before, from 2017 year, I started to develop new skill. You can see Sergey. He will connect a little bit later. He was with Matt from times of creating our new skills from a beginning. He also has a big experience on iOS and macOS development. And now he's a national expert in Russia by mobile application development. And now he leads all competitions in Russia. Thank you, Sergey. And Lydia, she will show you some slides about technologies, as I told before. So you will hear her a little bit later. So Lydia also has very big experience in mobile development too. She works in Tomsk State University and teach students how to develop mobile apps. And also she works in companies which are creating mobile applications and other applications. And of course, there are many people from our big team in Russia, and I hope that its team will be created not only the Russian people. I really want to make a big Med family with all of you. And of course, I want to say the big thank you for our team for helping us to develop this skill. And in a previous slide, I will change it, sorry. Oh, here. I told about the TVs, smart TVs. I think it's important part of ecosystem of our current mobile operating systems like iOS or Android, because, for example, you can easily connect your mobile application for using your TV, for example, like a remote control or sending some information or mirroring some information from your device to television. So after my speech, Lydia will show you examples from our test project from 2019, when we are used smartphones, smartwatches, and smart TVs for creating test project for our competitors. So, and the one part of our meeting, as I told before, just check me, yeah, it's making group photo of us. It's important for us because we want to save our story of our skill. You know, maybe in World Skills Shanghai, there will be a museum of World Skills International, and maybe we can send their photos. So, and I want to ask you to turn on your cameras now, and fall, and we will take a screenshots of your previews, and then we will check the best shots of your smiles and of your faces, and then we will put it in one big picture. So we need to make, 1 minute, I think, to check all of your photos. So just turn off your cameras, and maybe you can smile, of course. So there's so many. Oh, they're starting to turning off. Great. Turning on. Sorry. Oh, so where is all cameras? Okay, not so many people, but also thank you for it and for a happy smile of Matt. Oh, I see that many people are turning on his cameras, so we just need to wait additional 1 minute, I think. Yeah, Thank you. I'm creating screenshots, many screenshots of you. So it's not in a. You must know that, of course, it's not in a good quality because we are using internet connection. Maybe some of cameras is bad and other problems can be, but I think it will be cool picture of all of us. And of course, in a PM group that will be in at 18 o'clock by Moscow, we will do same thing. Oh, so many people. I'm happy. So, Lydia, can you say me, do you have these photos? Okay, we are starting. Yes, say that everything is okay. So I see that every people who wants to show her faces done it. So if you want, now we will continue our meeting. So if you want, you can turn off your cameras, of course. I will don't turn my camera. You can see me. Oh, I'm here. Just a second, please. Some technical problems with it. So, okay. And as I told before, today is our plan for introducing some technologies of our skill. And Lydia will introduce you some information about it. And of course, many things, many important things like WSS, assessment, building and infrastructure of our skill. We will discuss about it tomorrow and at Thursday and Friday. So we will have a lot of time for it. And now I think we need to make short break. Oh, slide. Oh, short break. Maybe you need to fill up your coffee cup or take some cookies for or popcorn for watching Lydia's lecture. So I think we can go back at 10 after 7 minutes, for example. It will be 10:14 by Moscow time. Okay. So just imagine that now you hear like music or some voices from a nature. If someone hear me, I think our meeting next lecture will take about 30 or 50 minutes or maybe 1 hour. So we will know about it. So you need, maybe you need 2 cups of coffee, for example. And of course, if you all have questions, you can, oh, Lydia, thank you. You can also ask them in our chat and we will answer it. So the next slides will be showed by Lydia, and you need to watch her screen. And I will only just sitting here and smile in the camera.
Hello, everybody. Are you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. Yeah, we hear you and see your keynote. So I think we need to wait 2 additional minutes because maybe someone going to a coffee machine or magazine.
Okay, of course.
Thank you. So I think that's the time to break our noises of instrumental music or nature songs. So Lydia, are you ready to show interesting things for our colleagues? Okay. You must know that your microphone is muted. Yeah, now oh no. Try to unmute you. We need to check. Лида, включи микрофон. Just a second.
Are you hear me?
Yeah, now it's okay. So now Lydia will take your time and make some introduce to our technologies of our skill. It's really short information, but I think it will be helps to understand clear about our skill. So Lydia.
Thank you, Emil. Hello for everybody. My name is Lydia, and I want to tell you something interesting. I hope that it will be interesting for you about our skill and about mobile applications development. Today I will tell about a task example because the most frequently asked questions is what kind of task may be at the championship. That's why I want to show you example of this task. This task was at World Championship in Kazan in 2019. Sorry. Then I would like to tell you about the tools that we recommended to use during the competition to complete the task, and some useful libraries and frameworks for our competitors. Okay, let's start. If you, some of you have already seen this task, but for those who see it for the first time, I added the link to all resources about this task. If you wish, you can solve this task by yourself. In a World Championship, participants need to implement an application for completing quests. Quests may be different. Some historical quests in city or maybe in forest. What is quest? Is some set of, and the goal of each task is to find some key. Maybe some text or maybe special place in which user should to be in time. And it should be noted that at the championship, there were no participants who choose the iOS operation system, and therefore layouts are for Android operation system. And in this slide, you can see the main screen of our application, and it's necessary to notice that target devices of our task were tablets, smartwatches, and smart TVs. On the first session, first screen of our application was splash screen. What is splash screen? It's a special screen which appears while a mobile game or mobile application is launching. And on the iOS operation system, you can implement a splash screen using a custom project settings and special storyboard file which named launch screen. It's very simple. If you have Xcode, you can create new project and try to do it. This file launch screen, you see it in my slide, is pre-created with empty project. For the Android operation system, there are several possible implementations of splash screen, and the most popular are using application theme or by creating new activity with timer. You just create new activity, add some images to it, and close this activity and go to the next after 2 or 3 seconds, for example. After splash screen, user should see this onboarding tutorial if he open our application for the first time. On the screen, we have information about the capabilities of our application, and we can switch between states with swipe gesture and with pressing on buttons. For example, if user press on skip button, our onboarding tutorial should be closed. And if user press on next button, we should just go to the next page. And for example, for iOS operation system, we can implement it with UI scroll view and UI page control components. Or maybe we can just use some third-party library. And I think it's the best way because it does not require a lot of time. You can Google some third-party libraries for it. For example, library to show carousel. It's a list of images which we can change with swipe gesture, or just try to find onboarding screen. And in internet, we have a lot of libraries for it. I said on a previous slide that we should to check the number of app launches, and we should to save information about it. We may use user defaults, for example, in iOS. For it, it's a very simple key value storage and very simple and fast to use it. On Android, we can use such components like View Pager, or maybe a third-party library again. And to save some data about number of application launches, we can use shared preferences. It's key value storage, which is very close to iOS version. The next, if we open our application in first time, we go to a registration screen. And here we have a special form. User should input all information in this form and press on button sign up. And this is a first screen when we can see a very important functionality of mobile application, data sending to the server. For this task, we implemented special RESTful API on server, and our participants should get all information from screen and send it to the server. To implement it, we can use, first of all, I forgot, here we have a lot of UI components. And for example, in iOS, we can use just UI image view, UI text field, or UI button. On Android, something like image view or edit text, for example. I think on both platforms, implementation of the screen will be very close. This is the slide with a screenshot of our protocol description. We used Swagger Hub. It's an online service which allows us to show all information about API protocol in a very useful way. And to communicate with the server, we have two approaches for both platforms. We can use standard class URL session, for example, in iOS, or URL connection on Android. But I recommended to use a third-party library, Alumifier for iOS and Retrofit for Android. It's some kind of standard in mobile application development to use these libraries for this feature because they are very fast, simple, and our participants will not pass a lot of time to create this functionality. Also, Retrofit library solve the issue of parsing data from JSON format to object. If we open our application not in the first time, we should go to sign-in screen. And here we see the next important thing in mobile applications, sign in with social nets. For example, here we use Facebook social net. I think it's very, we can very often see it in mobile applications. And to implement this functionality, I recommend using libraries which are created by developers of Facebook, for example, or if you use another social net, usually the company of this social net creates some SDK for it, for Android and for iOS. Quite often, the task of mobile application developers is to customize user interface elements. In this application, in addition to the main interface elements, it was required to customize the dialog boxes. For example, in this slide, you can see dialogues for success operation or for showing information about errors from server. This can be done in several ways, such as creating your own view or maybe customizing the appearance of system component. On iOS, you can use something like UI alert controller or just create your own view and just show it. In Android, you can use fragment dialog or your own view, for example. And the next slide, the main screen of our application. It's very important and difficult screen. And here we have a lot of panels with information, which can be useful for our user. For example, here we have map panel, user profile panel with information about user, name of user, user's level, panel with weather in the current place of our user, because we know that our user want to solve some quests and he should go outside his home. And a list of user achievements, for example, a list of most popular quests, and information about current quest and its tasks. To implement it, we should work with tables with dynamic content. And in iOS, we have special components for it. For example, UI table view. If we want to implement a table with one column, if we want to implement a table with two or more columns, for example, like best quests table, we should use UI collection view. And if you want to use Swift UI, you may use list component. In Android, every problem can be solved by recycle view because it's very powerful component, not so simple, but it can everything. The next slide will be about map. In the main screen, we have a map, and we recommend using the built-in libraries with maps. For example, iOS give us Apple Maps, and Android Google Maps. But I think it's important to remember that maps in Apple and in Google Maps have very quite similar functionality, but they are looking not in one way, and necessary to remember about it when we checking the result of your competitors. The next interesting feature in our application, it's a compass, because the quest can take place outside the city, and the user may need a compass. To implement this functionality, it's not necessary to use some third-party libraries, just classes from iOS SDK or from Android SDK. iOS has a CM Motion Manager class from library Core Motion, and Android give us a Sensor Manager. For both platforms, you need to subscribe to the event receiving data from managers. And when this event occurs, it's necessary to turn the compass image to the appropriate degree. And that's all. Maybe simple, maybe not. The next feature of application, video player. The task of quest can have video description, and our application should be able to play this video, to download it from server and play. The SDKs of both platforms provide components for video playback, AV player and video view, for example. Or you can use some third-party libraries. Maybe it will be simpler than in this way. Not only video, some tasks provide audio prompts, and application must be able to play audio, and we can use these classes, AV audio player or media player, for example. Every mobile application has a lot of images. Image from memory of device, images from server, images from camera, and a lot of images. And user of our application can change information about himself, including uploading his avatar photo to the server. Therefore, it's necessary to get access to camera and gallery of our device. And in iOS, we can do it with special UI image picker controller class, and in Android, we can create new intents with special parameters and ask our photo from Android operation system. Then it's necessary to send this image to the server, and for it we should create just post request to our server. The next part of our task is application for smartwatches. Because the list of mobile devices is not limited to smartphones and tablets, I think smartwatches also make users' life easier and more mobile. And many popular mobile applications have a smartwatch extension. Therefore, we consider developing a smartwatch app as an important skill for mobile developer. And this application for smartwatches should allow the user to sign in our system and show user description of current task, just to read something on your watch and go. Therefore, participants of our competition should be able to make client-server requests, not only while but in the watch application too. Operation system for smartphones or tablets and for watches are very similar, and we can use the same source code. However, there are some specifics with elements of user interface. And the last part of our task is an application for SmartTV. The SmartTV application should help the quest organizer keep track of the current situation. It allows user to sign into the system and get information about the location of quest participants. This slide shows a screen with a map, and perhaps this is the most unusual and interesting screen in this application. All other are very similar to the screens of the tablets. This screen allows you to see where are your participants now, and I think it's very useful for people who organize some quest for another. As a conclusion, this was the task at the World Championship. It's very hard to implement, but I hope that it's beautiful and interesting. I want to know that the user interface and customization of user interface elements is the largest part of this task and of every task in our competitions. First of all, should be convenient and beautiful. Therefore, this task and other tasks focused on design. In addition, you should remember that the mobile application can use data from a large number of sources. For example, from camera, from database. It may use information about geolocation of user and etc. Now, I want to tell a little about instruments. What can you use in our championship? All tools that participants may need during the competition can be divided into the following groups. And the main, the most important thing, it's IDE, Integrated Development Environment. But in order to talk about the main developer tool, you first need to choose approach to development that we will use. Because in mobile application development, we can use three different approaches. First of all, we have native development. What is it? It's native, we call development with languages and SDK developed for platforms. For example, for iOS, we use Objective-C language or Swift with iOS SDK. For Android, we use Java or Kotlin languages with Android SDK, and we call it native development. Web application development means that we use some instrument like JavaScript, HTML, CSS, some web frameworks like Angular or Vue, and create application inside a browser. We don't need install it in our device. We just go to some URL and use this kind of application. And the last approach, hybrid development. It means that we create one code for all platforms with special frameworks. For example, React Native, Flutter, or Xamarin. And every approach has some problems. For example, if we select web app development, we will have problems with get access to hardware of device. We can't to use a camera or accelerometer or maybe geolocation of our device. And it means that we can't to develop all part of our task. And we have problems with native UI support. What is native UI? If you use your smartphone with Android or iOS, for example, you know that some of application have the same buttons, text fields. Every platform has its own style guide for designers, and user know how should look, how buttons or other elements should look. But we have not components for it in web app development. It means that it's necessary to find some third-party libraries and use it in our work. Hybrid development has problems too, because in this table I write about React Native, Flutter, and Xamarin because now it's the most popular framework for hybrid development. And you see that they have some problems with features like Smartwatch support or, for example, home screen widget support. But it's not at all. A lot of features requires third-party models and libraries, and it requires from our competitor to go to the internet and download them. New version of the operation system and the appearance of support these new features in the framework maybe several months. For example, in the end of June, Apple company published new features in iOS, and I don't know when Xamarin or React Native will support these new features. And if we will add one framework in our skill, it's necessary to add all of them, because why we allowed, for example, one framework, and why we forbidden all other frameworks? It's very strange, and it will significantly complicate the preparation for the competition and setting up the equipment. This slide shows the difference in the performance of mobile applications developed using different approaches: native, hybrid, and web. We believe that the main thing in our development is user friendliness and equal conditions for all competitors. Therefore, we choose native development. And if we choose it, we can, I can tell you about IDE, about instruments which we recommend to use in mobile development, in native mobile development especially. For iOS development, we can use Xcode or, for example, AppCode to create mobile applications. But AppCode, it's not free for us. It's necessary to pay for it. So I think Xcode is the best application to create mobile iOS mobile applications. For Android, we can use a lot of applications. For example, Android Studio, IntelliJ IDEA, Eclipse. But Google company recommend, and I recommend, and everyone loves Android Studio. But you can use something else if you want. When we create new mobile application, we should work with a lot of graphics, with images, with some animations. So we need application for graphics. And for example, on previous World Championship, we used Adobe XD. But now we think that online service Figma.com is more useful and recommend to use it. And we, when we create new task for championship, we try to use Figma. If our competitor need to change image, to cut something, for example, we recommend to use GIMP application because it's free and it's available for Windows and Mac OS. You saw in our task that is necessary to create some API requests, and to check it, to run it, we recommended to use Postman application. It's free, it's very useful, it's very simple, and available for Windows and Mac OS operation system. Development of a mobile application is most a teamwork. In companies, we always have not one, but some kind of team of mobile developers. So it's necessary to use some version control system. Version control system allows us to track the entire history of changes in our source code or other project resources. That's why we required to use it in our competition. And we recommend to use Git version control system because it has a lot of advantages over the other systems. But we don't use special application for working with it. We recommend our participants use command line in Windows or terminal on macOS, and special plugins in Android Studio or Xcode. They are inbox in these applications and very simple. And for using some different content, we can use Adobe Reader, for example, or some archive utility and browser. to see Swagger Hub or Figma with our design. The next part of my little lecture is about languages, because iOS and Android have two languages for implementation mobile applications, and sometimes students ask me what is better to use. And first of all, for iOS, we have two languages, Objective-C and Swift. But I think that we should use Swift because this language is very young. It supports new approaches, for example, functional programming, protocol-oriented programming, and it's fast. You can see in this image, blue lines is for Swift and green for Objective-C. And this is some kind of operations with arrays. This language is fast, it has simple syntax, and it's recommended by Apple. That's why we use Swift. But if you want, you can use the both languages inside one project. For Android, I saw Java and Kotlin on competition, but I recommended to use Kotlin. Why? Because this programming language is very young and it's very close to Swift. If you already know Swift, it will be very simple to learn Kotlin. It was introduced in 2017, but by JetBrains company. If you know, JetBrains is a company that developed Android Studio tool. This language developed quite rapidly, and on 8th May on the last year, Google announced that now Android development will become increasingly Kotlin first. All documentation in, not all, but a lot of documentation in developer Google.com has source code in Kotlin, and Android Studio, for example, can translate your Java code to Kotlin. Kotlin more safe, has simple syntax, and Android Studio allows us to use both languages in the same project with only one limitation. We can't to mix two languages inside one file. The main advantage of Kotlin language is a syntax. It's much simpler than in Java, and many expressions in Kotlin language look much shorter than in Java. Little example. Here we have two code section. This is just activity with one button, and we add click listener to this button. And when we press on button, our application should show us toast. Toast is a little pop-up message in the bottom of the screen. And in the left side on this slide, I have a code on Java, and the right side code on Kotlin. It's the same, but we can see that Kotlin shorter than Java. And the last, one interesting thing about Kotlin. If you see on this into this code, you can find that on the Java code, I have line button equal find view by ID. If you are Android developer, you know that it means that we try to get reference to our button object. But in Kotlin language, I have not this line because Kotlin has special instrument which named synthetic. This instrument allows us to after generate this code to get reference into some components of user interface. And it's not necessary to write it manually. I can just write the name of my user interface component and call some methods for it. And the last thing, as far as I remember, libraries. In our skill, we allow our competitor to use third-party libraries. And here I recommend some minimal set of libraries for both platforms. Because it's features which can be in every task, in every competition. And I think that's all. Thank you for your attention. Thank you, Emil. And I think that Emil will continue presentation. Yes?
Yeah, thank you very much, Lydia. So I will show now my screen. So just a second. So I hope that now you can see my screen and can hear me. Thank you again, Lydia, for introduction to our instruments and technologies that we used for. And I want to explain why we told you about some technical things and showed source code and other things. It's important for us to show you that mobile development, it's not hard thing as might seem. Because many of people think that they can do mobile applications like Lydia showed from a WorldSkills 2019. But as you see, we with our team, for example, make not standard application design user interface. We do it because the real mobile application developers will know how to make it all, will know all instruments, all languages, or some maybe troubles that can be showed while you're trying to create mobile application. And we showed you example of our task from a WorldSkills 19. For that, you will see that competitor will use many features of mobile devices in one test project. For example, you saw that we are working with a remote server via API. We getting some images from a camera or gallery. We're using magnetometer for getting direction of viewing of a device like a compass, yeah, and other many things. Of course, I think it will be a little bit hard for make the things from starting new project, but in our skill, we allow to competitors use third-party libraries, like Lydia told before. So before competition, for example, at C-2 day, every competitor can send us a list of their libraries that they would to use. And then all experts from a skill will check all these libraries and approve them. And then, of course, every competitor can use them. So because we can use libraries, our competitors can make some harder things more faster. And our applications, our results of competitors will be more interesting and usable. Because maybe you know, in other skills, often when competitors create some applications, they don't often return us usable result because they don't have any time or some problems. So, but in our skill, we can use these applications. We can plug in our mobile phones and install them and use them. And I think it's very interesting and cool because for visitors of our skill, we can show real applications. They can install them on their devices, and it's really interesting for students that came like visitors, or that for another delegates, for example. And I hope that the slide that we showed before with Lydia was a clear, and and now you know a little bit more about technologies that we used in mobile application development. And I hope that it was helpful for you for understand what is a med skill. And of course, so I think that you have questions about skill, maybe next days and everything. So of course you can ask these questions in our chats. For example, not for now, if you don't want, maybe later. And of course, we'll answer for it. And for example, if you now have questions, you can also use a microphone after I'm ends. So you can use a microphone and ask your questions. And of course, many technical things, as I told before, like WSS and infrastructure and other things, we will view tomorrow and the next days. I hope it will be interesting for you too. And I want to say about a format for competitors that they wait the next days for them. You should know that tomorrow and at Thursday, competitors will make some our tasks. So we will send their task like create this screen and set the result is back. So it's not like a competition with a result, medals or something else. It's just like a training, because while competitors will do this task, our colleagues Lydia and Sergey will join them, and when the competitors will have questions or problems, our colleagues will help them. I hope it will be very useful. So, and for experts, you will work with me. We will discuss everything about skill in real time. So, and in these days, you can also use a microphone to communicate with me and with each other. And for today, if you don't have questions or and other things, for today it's all, but now I'm waiting for your questions, please. For now, I think, not for today. For now, I wait questions. I would to say that we really love questions because, for example, we have many troubles with choosing type of platform, type of development, platform for developing. Let me show you just a second. For example, as Lydia told before, we have a free ways for creating mobile applications like web-based, hybrid, and native development. So, and every year we, with our experts, discuss about can we allow to use web-based applications or hybrid-based applications or not? And as Lydia said, there are many problems when we allow to for using hybrid applications, hybrid platforms, for example, Xamarin, PhoneGap, or Ionic, or etc. Because if, for example, in Russia, we use only React Native and Xamarin, but in another country, you can use another one platform that we don't know. And for example, in international competition, there are people from all the world will came, and if they ask to install their platforms, we will have a problems with building our infrastructure. Because there are many conflicts and collisions when we are trying to install many platforms, for example, for native or for cross-platform development. And it's a real problem. We know about it because we tried to use it. We tried to use it in 2019, in Foshan, and in a previous competition in Russia. And because of that, we are for now using only native development. And the main thing is that I really want to take feedback from you about if we can allow use cross-platform development or not. And we have many questions for you all. I will send it to our Telegram chat, and I hope that in the end of our meetings in a Friday, you can send me this feedback, or we can discuss about it if you have new things or your vision or your experience. Because we really want to get many experience from other countries. You of course know that industry in other countries, it's not the same. Yeah, for example, in Russia, we don't often use Xamarin or Hybrid development, but in other countries, they can use it, or many other things. So I really wait experience and feedback from you. So maybe now you have questions.
Excuse me, I think you have just mentioned that the students, the competitors need to decide on the libraries that they are going to use. I think maybe we can give them the freedom to choose as per their need, depending on the task assigned tomorrow and the day after. And then after they take the decision based on the libraries they need, for example, database, okay, I need to use this or that. Then we can approve it or not at that moment, instead of asking them to list all the libraries that they need. What do you think?
I think it's a good thing. Thank you for it. There one problem with using libraries. No, there problem in that experts can choose libraries. For example, in Russia or in Europe, people using retrofit library for storing data on the devices. But for example, in China, they're using another library. So because of that, experts, for example, me, can't know what libraries is normal and it's used by competitors from other countries. Because of that, we ask competitors, their specialists, their professionals, to give us a list of these libraries. Of course, they can use, they can communicate with expert, yeah, from national expert, like, hey, expert, can you give this list of libraries to a chief expert of competition for approving? It's normal way, I think. But we also want to work with competitors, because world skills, it's about competitors. So we want to take so more information and much possible from competitors too. But about you think, I think we need to discuss about it a little more tomorrow, and at Thursday, I will put a mark about it, and we will discuss it, and maybe we can vote about it. Because I think our meeting, our skill camp, is important for World Skills Shanghai, for next international competition. Because now we can change our previous WSS and our rules and make it better. And you can help us to do it, of course. So I will put a marks of all your questions that we, for example, can't discuss today or now, and later, for example, tomorrow we'll discuss it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, next one. Oh, you was alone with the questions. It's so sad. Oh, I see that there are no questions yet. Maybe there will. There must be more questions tomorrow and next days. So I think that for today we can end our meeting, and the news about the next days, the links and etc. you can find in our Telegram group. Remember that. So I will keep you in touch about our camp and next steps of our skill. And tomorrow we will meet with other in a Discord. So we used Zoom only for today for official opening. Tomorrow at 10 o'clock by Moscow time, you can connect to a Discord. So I'm very glad that I have this chance to introduce new skill to work with colleges, and I would to say thank you for your attention, for viewing us, and I want to say goodbye and see you and hear and maybe see you tomorrow at a Discord. Bye bye. Okay, bye all.
Bye. Have a good time. Thanks.
Yes, thank you very much. Now I will prepare a record of our presentation and video and other things. So I will send it little bit later. Thank you. Anna, are you here? Anna Malinovskaya.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, yeah. Can you help me about how I can save a record of this video of our meeting?
I suppose you should press stop the record.
Yeah.
And it will be saved on your laptop or
Cloud, I think.
or in cloud. Yeah.
Yeah, I think because you start this meeting, I think you will get a link to a cloud because you were the first host. So keep in mind, maybe you will have this link.
Okay, I will resend it to you. But we have record on YouTube anymore.
Yeah.
You can use the link to take this record.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So I just pressed the end meeting if it's okay. So